I am Sebastian Blake. I work at Brookes University and I am the quality manager for our commercial services team, so I cover catering, our accommodation for students and also our conferencing provision. Before I started the course, there were three things that attracted me to RISK. They've got a higher than national pass rate. They do a guaranteed pass scheme, which would indicate that they actually are pretty confident on their teaching methods and getting the information you need to across. And also the modular system means that actually you can do a section of it, take the exam, leave it for a couple of weeks and do another section and take an exam, opposed to having to learn an awful lot over the course of a month and do 2 exams, which overloads you quite a lot. I have a role in health and safety, although I am not the main safety advisor for the organisation, but I ensure a certain amount of health and safety within those areas, make sure people have followed procedures. I wanted to do the NEBOSH because I didn't feel like I had enough of a qualification to really feel comfortable with that, and I've been looking at a variety of options as a result. And when I was looking at it, I was balancing up actually how different providers do this, because I know it's one of the most difficult professional qualifications you can do. There's a very high failure rate, so I wanted to see what would help me get an increased success rate and balance out various needs. So looking at the risk portfolio and the fact that it's actually split was something that attracted me a lot. So you do 1 exam and then you can just say, actually that's done, that's fine, and then hopefully build on the knowledge in the next one and do the other exam. It's more useful than having all of the stress of 2 exams on one day. I'm doing the Fast Track NEBOSH course, and I'm enjoying it from the point of view of the teacher. Mike keeps you on track. Everything he says becomes really apparent is actually what you need to know for the exam. It fits in somewhere. He's continuously repeating the things you need to know to make sure you've got the knowledge, and it just goes again and again and again and again, which is really good. And it's not just the cramming style. I think it's a lot of information that's now permanently sinking in. The reason I chose London was because it is relatively local to me. I felt that I had the option of commuting and also, if need be, staying with friends. In the end, did decide to take up a hotel because it was relatively cheap in comparison to commuting, and also meant got a bit more time to revise, which I'm really, really glad I did, because this is intense. The reason I chose RISK was because of the guaranteed pass system. Quite like to know that I'm actually going to get a qualification and not have to repay for it, and also because of the structure with it being broken down into 2. So the idea of it being in modules was very attractive to me. RISK offer an out of hours call service. That's attractive in a few ways for me. I haven't taken advantage of it yet, but I imagine over the weekend, when I'm not going to have an opportunity to actually come in the next day with my questions, it's probably going to happen at some point that I'll give him a ring. But also, with any qualification, you only build up a certain amount of competency, if that makes sense. So this, as with anything else, is an introduction to an awful lot of information. So actually the fact I can then ring him up later when I'm kind of sitting there going, I think it's this or it might be that, when it comes to interpreting a particular piece of legislation from my workplace point of view, and actually get an expert viewpoint on that and advice, that is much more important than anything else. So it is something you need as any professional, the opportunity to actually go to someone who really knows it and say, got these options, what are the best? Something I find very useful in the environmental sector, so it's a good process.